At the start of the year, I talked about 2 episodes where the Mystery Machine was the threat as the connecting tissue. This time, I'm going to be talking about 2 episodes with a similar location and where the title tells you where we are. The one place, but the 2 episodes being San Francisco. Why? Because why not? And those episodes being I Left My Neck in San Francisco from the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show, and the San Franphyco from What's New Scooby-Doo. Now, before you come at me and say those aren't the only 2 episodes that take place in San Francisco, I know, but these are the 2 only full episodes. I also mentioned that it's in the title specifically telling you where they are. I originally was just planning to do these 2 episodes in this video. I didn't want to be wrong, so I looked it up, and there was a lot more episodes than I thought. I may go back and talk about the other 2 half episodes and the Guess Who episode, apparently. So, yeah. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the first episode. The episode starts off with the gang and a few others arriving to Alcatraz. Sally tells them of the lady vampire of the bay. Daphne feels a little woozy. Jack, the captain, tells them of the hauntings, and Scooby and Shaggy stay back. Scrappy starts looking for the vampire. Vampire sneaks up on the duo and scares the trio off. Inside, the tour group learns about...
You mean the Lefty Callahan, who stole the world's largest diamond, emerald, and ruby all in one heist?
What about the jewels?
They were never found.
Fred and Velma realize Daphne wasn't with them, so they go looking for Daphne. The boys run into a cell and tell the duo what they saw, as she appears and then disappears. Velma and Fred say a fact and a joke.
You guys picked a great cell to hide in. It belonged to the Birdman of Alcatraz.
Perfect for a couple of chickens.
Jack lets them out as Scrappy goes to get the vampire, but he comes back with Daphne. Shaggy points out the hair matching. They leave the island on the same boat with one less headlight. At the hotel, Daphne is still sick, so she goes up with Sally. Miss Cornwell gets ready for the play tonight. And Jack, as he gets ready to go to another location, the others read about
Legends of Old San Francisco.
The boys get spooked and they go off. The lights go out. When they come back on, the vampire stands behind the boys. They dive into newspaper. She then gives them a warning to not mess with her affair. Scrappy gets rolled into a carpet. She then runs out as Fred and Velma follow. But they come right back to tell Scrappy that he doesn't have the vampire. He has Captain Jack. Daphne joins them downstairs, wondering what's going on. And she's standing in front of the mirror, not casting a reflection, leading to Scooby and Shaggy having more frightful thoughts. Jack goes up to get his coat, and Shaggy and Scooby get ready to go to the other fruity location. The lights go out again. Now Velma stands and is reflected by the mirror. The boys eat a heavy garlic pizza and see Daphne. They catch up and figure out it's the vampire. Scrappy goes to throw hands, but gets put into a box. Back at the hotel, Fred finds some fresh paint by the mirror. They hear screams and rush off. They see her on the Chinatown sign. The vampire runs off through an alley. Fred points out,
Velma, she's stolen one of the tiger's eyes.
And Velma thinks they're not just glass, and they're jewels of the Callahan heist. The boys see the vampire again and chase her down. But she becomes a bat. The bat flies into their hotel and follow it. They see the bat in Daphne's room and slam the door. When Fred opens the door, it's just Daphne, and Shaggy freaks out. They head to the opera house for the diamond. They go in and split up. The boys mess with costumes as Shaggy goes to get one for himself. He sees the vampire and she scares them off. They get trapped in Scrappy's trap. The vampire gets the diamond. Scrappy pulls a rope, dropping a cage right on her. Scrappy turns out the lights by accident. When he flips them back on, the vampire is gone. Everyone joins the gang, and Velma breaks the news that one of them is the vampire. Velma pulls off Miss Cornwell's face to reveal the vampire. Fred wipes off the makeup. Velma explains the mirror.
When I noticed the mirror frames were different, one with eagles and one without, I realized there were two mirrors.
And the paint I found told us one of them was a fresh painting that the vampire switched when the lights went out so that she wouldn't reflect.
Velma reveals Miss Cornwell is actually Callahan. Fred and Velma explain what was with the bat in Daphne's room.
Lefty released it in the alley, and the bat flew into Daphne's window because it was the only dark one in the hotel. Bats hate light.
Daphne was probably getting a drink of water when you looked the first time, and the bat flew out when she came back in.
The boys apologize to Daphne, the dogs say their things, and the credits roll. My thoughts on this. I like that the reveal was kind of different because in every single thing, it's always pulling off a mask as the monster is trapped. But this time, all the suspects were there, and they pulled off the person's face, which was just a mask. But it revealed the vampire. So that was really cool. And I think this is also the first time ever that one of the members was a suspect. I mean, I know there is episodes later in Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo where Fred is kind of suspected to be a suspect. Also, Scrappy is kind of dumb because Scrappy pulled a rope to drop the cage. All he had to do was pull another rope to lift it up, but instead he shuts off the lights. I know I'm looking too far into it, and I know it's a kid's show, and then that they needed something to do for the reveal. Those are my thoughts. So let's get into the next episode, the San Franphyco from What's New Scooby-Doo. The episode starts off with a shot of the Golden Gate Bridge that then pans over to a familiar looking place. On Alcatraz is the Grind Games, a skateboarding competition. Then we get introduced to Ryan, which he shows off a skateboarding trick. Then another skateboarder, Rich, disappears into the clouds and only his skateboard comes down. Then standing in the lights is the San Franphyco. He breaks the lights and everyone scatters. Roll the intro. After the intro, we see the gang with Ryan. After getting checked by security, Ryan mentions the attack. Fred mentions,
We'll also keep an eye out for anything whack.
as a protest band walks by, led by Hayes. He's not too fond of the Grind Games. We see Ryan's run. He fails at the end and still gets a 10 from that judge. A tour guide rolls up, spewing off facts and that he loves all these new tourists. As another skateboarder is performing, the San Francisco attacks. Other skaters come to help and it jumps back in its hole. The tour guide comes back and name drops the monster.
The legendary San Franphyco.
And gives them a history lesson on it. Basically, Clint escaped from Alcatraz, but couldn't escape a shark attack. The tour guide takes them to Alcatraz. They go in and are instantly found by the San Franphyco. They run floor to floor like a classic door chase. Velma dives into a cell, while the boys continue to run and slide right into Daphne and Fred over the railing. Fred grabs a hold of said railing, with everyone else holding onto him. The Psycho walks by fluid. They all climb up and join Velma in a lived-in cell. Daphne finds clue number 1, a Grind Games book with X over skateboarders. The San Franphyco takes off on the guide's boat. The tour guide becomes suspect number 1. Fred finds a boat. They drive back towards the Grind Games. But the boat leaks and they get surrounded by sharks. After a commercial break transition, the water's all gone and the gang outrun and fight back. Velma jinxes it by saying,
We're going to make it. Irony. So we meet again.
the boat splits. They jump on and over sharks to make it back to land. The next morning, they talk to Ryan that the Grind Games should be canceled. They then spot the judge, Ruti Benenze, getting a tattoo of Ryan. They then confront the tour guide. During another performance, Shaggy jinxes it by saying,
Hey, Scoob, maybe we scared away that seaweed psycho.
cue the song and chase. During the song and chase, we see the tour guide not with his guests. After the chase, they see Hayes sabotaging structure, becoming suspect number 3. They split up. Shaggy, Velma, and Scooby investigate Hayes' RV. They see his costumes and think he could have also made the monster costume. They see Hayes coming back. Shaggy tries to put back the paint. He has it all fall on them. Hayes thinks they're performers late for the show. Daphne, Fred, and Ryan follow the tour guide to a tram. Fred hops on and loses him. The tram gets off the tracks due to the San Franphyco. Daphne and Ryan grab a cart and slide down to help Fred and the passengers. Back with the others on stage, they do a human pyramid, and the real performers show up as the others escape. Back at the tram troubles, Ryan gives them a skate trick to help them avoid cars and a big dip. The tram stops before falling into the water. Everyone gets off, and then it falls into the water. Fred gives us his plan for the trap. He tests Velma's helmet, getting everything metal in the area. Shaggy competes, crashing through rails and almost into the Psycho. Fred activates the helmet, stopping the Psycho for a second before he's pulled away by a truck. The Psycho climbs up, scaring off Daphne and Scooby. The Psycho chooses to chase Scooby on a skateboard. Scooby manages to pick up the San Francisco and throw him into a tent. Then Velma unmasks to be... Velma points out the Psycho never went after Ryan, and then Rudy gives us her motive.
I wanted to sabotage the games because they wouldn't let me compete. Becoming a judge was the only way I could join the games, since girls aren't allowed.
And then she shows us why she really wasn't accepted. Back at the games, Ryan does another run, and the gang give him all 10s and a dew point. Roll the credits. Thoughts? I wish they explained the tour guide's disappearances after the knocked over the head on Alcatraz, because where was he during the song and chase, and where was he on that tram? What did he do on the tram? Did he get on and then get off right away? I wish they kind of explained his things a little bit more than just him being a red herring. And with the paint people and him being the only ones followed at the same time, then the paint people being shown as not a suspect at all, then it only left the tour guide and Rudy. I mean, Rudy wasn't a suspect to them because, she's just getting a tattoo of their favorite player. Why would they want to hurt their favorite player? So, she was not a suspect to them, but she was a suspect to everyone else because that's great motive. I want everyone else to fail so the one I love succeeds. Also, Rudy attacked a girl named Lucas, I believe. And then she also had a Grind Games competitors book. So how did she think girls couldn't compete? You guys can tell me why she could have thought that, why she was attacked. Was she already a judge before she saw the competitors book? I don't know. Yeah. And also the design of the San Francisco was pretty cool. I liked that we got a flashback of the history of the monster. For the San Francisco Frights, I gotta say, those are 2 pretty good episodes. Me personally, I gotta say the San Francisco wins my vote of a better episode. That is one of the episodes that I kind of grew up with. The first time I ever saw this episode was on the classic DVD cover of it, and I thought that it was a special episode. I didn't think it was for some reason, I don't think it was an actual episode. I don't know. But back then, when I was a child, I was a dumb child and thought that it's more nostalgic for me and that it's more of a frightening episode. So that's why I like the San Francisco a little bit more than I left my neck in San Francisco. Anyway, I might do another video based on similar locations, but I don't know. I mainly want to do videos of things that I like, and if it's a video topic that covers What's New Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, Be Cool Scooby-Doo, and maybe Guess Who Scooby-Doo, I'll really want to make those videos because I like those series. If any of my video ideas include any of those, then I'll be like, okay, I'll just have maybe 2 classics, and then I can do this episode too. So, yeah. So it's mainly what I feel is gonna be an okay video. Like I said, I might do another location similarities video, but I don't know. And I also mainly want to do video ideas and up concepts that I think are cool. And if it already exists on Scooby Utopia's YouTube channel, then I might not do it here, because why would I do something that someone else already did? I'll talk about the same episodes, but I won't do similarities like those other ones. Hope you guys liked the video. If you guys did, please leave a big like down below. If you guys haven't already, please check out the playlist of Scooby-Doo review videos. I have a lot. I have a couple cool concept of Scooby-Doo reviews coming out next year. So subscribe so you don't miss out on those. And then check out the latest video. Peace.